All right, welcome everyone to Growth School. It's Biodun Mustafa again, and you know we'll do this every week, willing to always inspire you with the things that are able to transform your life at every time. And if you are that one person who is willing to transform your personal life, your professional life, you're willing to experience growth, profit, productivity, and purposefulness in every area of your life. This is where to be every Wednesday, 9 p.m. West African time, to become inspired and to receive the practical tips that can help you accomplish these things. Like we have phenomenal moments whereby we have guests and experts who always come here to share with us, and you begin to receive the wisdom that can help you transform your life in no small way. And today is not an exception. I have a guest, but before I go into that guest, I want to really share something very, very important with you. I know if you are conversant with the Bible, there's this part of the Bible that says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and they would glorify your Father who is in heaven." All right, please, if you're joining us from anywhere, do well to really let us know where you are joining us from. Are you joining from Lagos? Are you joining from the United States? Are you joining from UK, from Canada, from Kenya, from any part of the world? Do well to drop a message and let us know where you're joining from. All right, we'll be really, really delighted to let us know where you're joining from. Now, going back to what I was sharing, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven, and that ye are the light of the world. I found out that a lot of people seem to misinterpret that concept to believe that when they say, "Oh, you are the light of the world," you will just go out and shine automatically. But I want you to know that shining and being the light of the world is very, very expensive. Like, it's costly. No one just shines, no one just becomes the light of the world ordinarily. All right, there is a cost to being the light of the world. There is a cost to always shining and making your light shine brightly to the world. And there are about four currencies that you can invest to really shine massively and let people see the good works of God and really make you impactful and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Now, number one thing that you need is knowledge. You need an high level of knowledge to be able to really shine. Have you ever asked yourself that even though there are many people who believe in that particular scripture, they don't seem to shine outside of their houses. Okay, they are just like the light bulb that shines in the kitchen, all right, and never gets to shine in the broad way, never get to be used for massive things. They are like the light bulb that is used in the kitchen. All right. Now, so you need a level of knowledge, which means your level of knowledge will actually show, okay, in the level with which you shine, it's directly proportional to your level of knowledge. Number two, you need association. There's a level of association you need to shine. There are people that need to speak about you outside your house, outside your community, outside your nation for you to shine massively. Number three, you need education. You need education. You need a level of education. You need a level of qualification. You need a level of competence to be able to shine. And number four, you need money. Don't deceive yourself. You need money to shine massively. You want to do a lot of amazing things in your life. You want to challenge yourself. You want to accomplish your purpose. You want to grow to a very great extent. You need to pay for hearts. You need to pay competent people to do things for you. You need money. And today we're speaking on something beyond just money, but money seems to be involved. We're talking about wealth. We're talking about wealth. We're talking about wealth. And today I've invited personally who will be sharing with us. Temilola Adeyemi, thank you so much for joining us on Growth School from Lagos. I'm so delighted to have you on Growth School. All right, so you need money. You cannot do without money. Don't deceive yourself. Don't tell yourself, "Oh, it's not necessary. Oh, money is not for everybody. Not all of us necessarily need money." But you really want to shine, you want to do real things in your life, you need money. And today you will be learning on something phenomenal that would help you make more money and do money more effectively, see money differently, and play the game of life. And as you will be learning in the session, you will find out that you need to understand how to play the money game so you can become really impactful in your life. Okay, and today I have an amazing guest that will be joining us and will be sharing from a wealth of experience and some other things. So, right about now, I will be playing the introduction of our guest right away. Stay tuned.
Temilola Adeyemi is an award-winning financial expert with a passion for financial literacy and education. She's proud to have graduated with first-class honors from Bowen University, Nigeria in 2013, where she was named the best graduating student in her department with a remarkable CGPA of 4.53. This achievement made her the second student in the department's history to graduate with first-class honors since the school's inception in 2002. She went on to pursue a master's degree in finance on a scholarship in the same institution, where she also worked as a graduate assistant for 2 years. As an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, and an associate chartered stockbroker, ACS, she has been able to leverage her expertise to provide guidance, education, and advice on various financial topics, solving the pain of financial uncertainty. She is passionate about the SDG goals of low poverty, gender equality, and decent work and economic growth. And she strongly believes that education and financial literacy can help achieve this goal. In 2022, she joined Money Africa, a Nigerian financial literacy company that uses technology to teach financial literacy through courses, consultations, webinars, and other methods. Since she joined Money Africa, she has successfully led numerous projects, including training over 10,000 African women on financial literacy, creating portfolios for over 100 individuals and couples, writing over 100 finance articles, training over 500 business owners on business finance, and participating in several speaking engagements, both corporate and community-based. She has been privileged to speak at corporate and community sessions for MasterCard, Colored Grey, Handtech Market, Leadway, Braven, Ingressive for Good, Techie Train Institute, and others. She has gained significant recognition for academic and professional achievements, having been featured on various radio, webinars, and TV programs, highlighting her expertise in her field of study. As a PhD student, she has also had her work published in several reputable journals, which has cemented her reputation as a talented and accomplished scholar. Recently, she authored a groundbreaking book titled Investing Manual for African Women, which has gained worldwide popularity and attracted buyers from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Gambia, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Growth School, Temilola Adeyemi.
All right, welcome to Growth School. All right, so Temilola will be joining us very soon. All right, you just listen to her bio, and I will tell you that she is the best at the game. For some of you that have been making a lot of money mistakes, maybe for example, you have fallen into the hands of people who probably have duped you, or you are putting your money into things, and right now you realize how much you have made a lot of mistakes with money, and you want to begin to take a lot of money decisions that will help you build wealth and play the game of wealth successfully. So you will be learning a lot of those things. Make sure you grab your pen. I have my notepad here also. I'm ready to learn. I'm prepared to learn. I also want to take a lot of right decisions when it comes to money. And I want you to do the same and really learn from her. Okay. Now, the first thing I want you to really know before she comes up is that you must understand that nobody really makes money. All right. Now, this may feel very surprising to you and unusual, Nobody really makes money. There's no one who prints money in his or her house. There's no one who prints money in his or her house. Money is actually printed in every nation, in every country, in something called a central bank. Okay, so every nation has a central bank. There's a central bank of Nigeria, there's the Bank of America, there's the Bank of Rwanda, there's the Central Bank of Kenya, right? So everyone, no one actually prints money, no one actually makes money, no one has a factory of money. The place where money is actually made and printed is central bank. All right, there's a central bank where money is printed. If you're in Nigeria, there's something called the Central Bank of Nigeria. All right, the Central Bank of Nigeria is where money is printed. Now, the problem is, how do you get that money that is printed in central bank to come into your hands and your pocket so that you can begin to do the things you want to do and you can begin to change your life the way you want to change it? Which means there is a game that makes money move from every central bank and gets it into your pocket. And that's what Temilola will be teaching us today, and we'll be learning a lot of it. Over to you. Thank you so much, Temilola Adeyemi. Welcome to Growth School. I think you are muted. You have to unmute at your end. Yeah. Yeah, Temilola, if you can hear me, you can go on and just speak. Okay, I think she has some issue with her network, and third world can be really funny. So let's just go on. Now that there is something called the central bank in every nation. All right. And the central bank is where money is printed. A volume of money seems to be printed and it's there. All right, Temilola, over to you. You're live. Yeah, Temilola, you can speak. We're listening to you. We are listening to you. You can speak. Yeah, we're listening to you. Go on. Just take it right out. Right on. We are ready to learn. I have my pen here. I have my notepad. I want to learn about wealth systems. All right, so let's just go on. Let's just go on. So, like I said, the only place where money seems to be printed is a central bank, and for you to channel that money from central bank to your hand, there are systems to go about it. You can't go to central bank and tell them, "Give me money," and then they just give you, or you go to central bank and just like jack money or pick money on the ground and pick it. You'll be arrested. Why? Because there's actually a game, there's a system, there's a form of operation with which money should move from the central bank to your hands. Now, what the central bank really do is to manage the economy in a form whereby the money can move from that point in legitimate means into the hands of individuals, into the hands of individuals. So the central bank has no right to just pick money and share to everybody in the country. You know, there are people who have very funny imagination and say, why can't the central bank just give us money and share money to everybody and ask for our account number and distribute to everyone? That's not the way kings thinks. All right, kings don't think that way. Kings don't think in the way the average person thinks. All right, the king thinks in an high level, in an high form, and then they monitor the system and economy and then make money, channel into their hands so that they can do things with them. All right, Temilola, you are live. You're live. Sorry about the network. You're live. Go on, take it off from there. Yeah, Temilola, just go on. You can take it up. Just go on, take the session from there. We've done the introduction. Sorry, network. Welcome all the welcome Kopo Adeyemi C. Welcome Gloria team. It's nice to have you on Grow School. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for doing this with us. All right. So, like I was saying, and trying to really state um, about money. So they try to study the economy and begin to see how the money moves from the central bank to the hands of individuals. Now, what really happens is that the government creates certain projects. All right, the government creates certain projects, will create certain interventions that will make the money move from the central bank into hands, and then it gets to certain individuals. Even if you are actively not involved in the contract, you must understand that there is a channel and means with which the money moved from the central bank to your hands. For example, maybe you had someone who just sat down and sent you money. Maybe you requested for money, maybe from your parents, your uncle, that person, this individual, your boyfriend, your husband, your fiancé, and all of that. The person did not go to central bank directly to get that money. The person either offered a service to the government that made the money get into a hands that involved somebody who worked on that project, and then the money began to move. So that's how money moves in circulation in every economy. That's how money moves in circulation in every economy. And until you understand this, you would not be able to treasure the concept of value. Yeah, Temilola, go on. Sorry about the network. It's third world. All right. Yeah, go on, Timmy. All right, Temilola, just right on. Go on, take it up from there. Timmy, can you hear me? Please, you can unmute. You are muted. You are muted. You have to unmute. Yeah, go on now. You can go on, right on, just right on.
Okay, so I don't know if I can be heard because right now I cannot actually hear anything from my hand. And I'm so sorry, the network is just so terrible tonight. As a matter of fact, this is the first time this is happening to me, so I didn't plan for an alternative. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you, Dr. Biodun, for having me on the call this evening. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and I look forward to actually having a great time with us, right? So this evening we are going to be talking about mastering the game of money. So please kindly permit me to share my screen.
Okay, what you can do is you can share the slide with me on WhatsApp, then I would control it from here.
All right, so while the screen is coming up, like I said, tonight we are talking about wealth system, mastering the game of money, right? So that's a topic of discussion for this evening, and it is important that we actually talk about this because a lot of things have happened in Nigeria since we started the year, from the inauguration of the new president. President Tinubu, to a lot of policies, right, that have been released since he came to power. A lot of things have also happened ever since he came to power. So it is actually very important that we really talk about it. That we really talk about some of these things that it's happening right now in the country. So just like I said, I believe you can see my screen now, although the network here, like I said, is terrible. And I also hope, thank you. I also hope, and I'm not lagging, because really I'm just writing this on by faith, right? Because the network is really terrible on my hand. So like I said, big policy questions facing Nigeria in 2023. A lot of things have happened. There was the removal of fuel subsidy, and a lot of people were asking, should this have even happened at all? Should they have removed fuel subsidy? And I think it got to a point that we all realized that actually it was a good decision, because even though the fuel price was being subsidized, it was actually being done for the rich and not for the masses that it was originally set up for. So a lot of money was being paid on subsidy, and some of it were even borrowed at the expense of, you know, of our pockets. So that was the problem we had then. And I actually was expecting it any even if it had not been President Tinubu that won the election, any other president that comes into the office would have actually done the same thing, because it was it was due, and it was actually very necessary that we embarked on that route. Another thing that has happened is unification of exchange rates, right? We have seen how a lot of things have also come up in that area where things and okay, let me also focus on the fact that results of quite a number of multinational companies that came out just last month, right? They are showing the effect of the devaluation of currency on their performance. As a matter of fact, MTN actually lost about 120 something billion naira because of this devaluation of currency, right? So people are getting bonds by it, but to what end? We are all hopeful that all this decision, hopefully they are going to actually be to the good of the country. But even at that, the fuel subsidy, people are crying, people are shouting, there is no money to be able to take care of the important things. There is no money. Some of us will set audacious goal at the beginning of the year. I want to ensure that by the end sorry please I want to ensure that by the end of the year I've been able to save up to this target. I've been able to build my own house. I've been able to do this and all that, and all of a sudden all of that became a nightmare. It became impossible because of this decision that that was made on behalf of the country, which now seem as though, oh, did we really take up that decision at the right time, even though the decision seems good, right? The phasing out of the fuel subsidy, the unification of exchange rate, they were all necessary, right? But was that the right time for us to have embarked on that journey? Were there things that should have been put in place to ensure that people don't get burnt by it? Another thing I actually think should have happened at that time also is, should import restriction on food persist? Because if you are saying, oh, we are removing fuel subsidy, we are unifying the exchange rates, and what Nigerian produce in terms of food cannot actually cater for the 200 million plus people that are in the country. This should actually be a time when there will be restriction on imports on food importation, so that people can feel that ease. We cannot actually be going through a situation where fuel subsidy is on the high side, food is on the high side. As a matter of fact, PwC actually said in the next couple of months, Nigerians are going to go through a season of hardship. And one thing I keep saying is that anytime there is a famine in the land, anytime there is a season of famine in the land, there are some category of people that are actually enjoying the abundance. I love it, the fact that Dr. Abiodun started with the Bible, and I'm actually going to quote certain certain scriptures at this point, and that will actually take me to what happened in the land of Egypt, during the reign of Pharaoh and Joseph, right? Joseph actually, the famine did not just happen in Egypt, it happened all over the world. But because Egypt was positioned to be favored by God, they were able to key into the season of abundance. And while when there was no food, they were actually leveraging on the abundance that they have created for themselves. That actually speaks to me that every time there is a famine in the land, there are some category of people that don't go through that famine. As a matter of fact, the food food that were stored by Joseph and the Egyptians at that season was what they were exchanging for money. So when people were saying there was scarcity, when we were saying there was famine, they were literally enjoying because they understand the system of things, right? So all I'm saying is that why people are complaining about all of this, there are certain people that are actually benefiting from it. And the truth is the fact that we are coming into a season where there's going to be a gap. There will be a very obvious gap between the rich and the poor, because the rich are going to actually leverage more on the system that will bring them money, and the poor will continue to complain and say, oh, there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. But I think after this session this evening, we are actually going to learn how the rich do it, right? How the rich do it, how do they ensure that they're able to navigate through seasons, season of hardship, season of pain, season of famine. Another thing that is a big question, policy question in Nigeria, is the import substitution or export promotion. Are these not things that federal government should actually focus on doing now that things are going so hard on people? Also, should the CBN continue to fund the federal government? Remember that before President Buhari left the office, there was a lot of money that has gone, into that space. As a matter of fact, World Bank actually projected that by end of this year, Nigeria is going to be, as of last year, they projected that Nigeria is going to be paying back 97% of what they earn as debt, as debt servicing. And that is what is happening, because actually anytime federal government needs money, there's something they call ways and means. Ways and means is a way in which the federal government actually borrow money for a short-term season. But during President Buhari, he went ahead, he borrowed so much that it went from just little amount of money to about 872 billion naira or thereabout. These are some of the issues that we are talking about. And this money was not actually expected to be for a long time. Now they have to at some point convert it to bond so that they will be able to, pay back without having to go through, the stress, in terms of, being a pain on an average Nigeria. These are some of the issues that we have. Should we continue to match CBN with the federal government, or should they all stand side by side so that we can be able to, to benefit from the pockets of the nation? Now, look at my screen. Where does the market think the Naira stroke USD will be based on the adjustment that has, the unification of exchange rates? See what we have here. For future contract quotes, we are seeing a possibility, at some certain time that exchange rate is actually going to get to 1,000. And based on this rate, actually, they actually projected even a long time that we're not going to see that happen until, let's say, 2025. But to my amazement, we are already entering 1,000 naira per one. It's like the market has been left to flow, that it has been left to float, it has been left to find its own footing, right? That is what we are experiencing right now in Nigeria. Before this time, some of these obligations that should be settled in maybe 2028 and thereabout, they were things that they would have actually cost us maybe just around 500 naira per one and all that. But it was actually not reflecting the real state of the economy, because actually Nigerian has actually been, Nigerian currency has actually devaluated for a lot of reasons, because of inflation that has been on the rise, because of interest rates also that has actually not been attracting foreign investors as much as we expect. So a lot of these things have actually not reflected on our exchange rate. And the call for the unification of exchange rate was important, because our foreign reserve before President Tinubu came in was already around $33 billion, which actually cannot take us far. So we needed something like that. But more than that, we also need something that will serve as a cushion for the economy. So what are the rapid changes happening right now in the Nigerian economic environment? Petrol is now expensive and will continue to be. People will have to lower consumption or be more efficient, right? Inflation will go up. Inflation presently is already on 22.7, and expect prices to continue to increase at a rapid pace. So don't expect, because rice is about 40,000 now, maybe, hopefully, maybe by December. Prayer cannot just do this alone. What prayer will do for you at this stage is that may probably God can just, open your eyes to opportunities. God can just send you to a place of abundance. But reality, when it comes to analytical situation, that is what is going to continue to happen in Nigeria. Inflation will continue to rise because even though the MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, keep increasing the interest rate, it has not been able to curb inflation that is already on the high side. And this interest rate is actually not reflecting on the market because the treasury bill rate is still on 6.80% per year, which is actually not, encouraging enough for any foreign investor to want to come into the market. So these are some of the issues that we are having. And for those who want to japa, foreign education and travel will become even more expensive. So cheap dollar is no longer available to fund this, where you have to submit your request to the bank, and the bank will say, okay, we're processing it for 3 months, for 6 months, and they come back and give you maybe at 500 or at 600. Those ones are no longer available. So if you want to spend 10 million for yourself before this whole thing happen, now you have to actually spend more. You understand? You have to actually finances in the light of all these realities. So I don't know what stage you are, I don't know what decision you have set for yourself this year, a way in which you can actually start positioning yourself for you to be able to scale through all this season is that you have to face realities. If petrol continue to increase, what do you think you can do as a way to be able to minimize that cost on you? Number one is the fact that, do you think maybe you have to speak to your HR? Probably they have to reduce the number of times you go to work, or even you probably have to reduce the number of times you go out, right? If you spend like 20,000 naira, 30,000 naira on transport, you might actually have to be looking at how you can cut down the cost. Another thing you might want to start doing is that you might want to start leveraging on virtual opportunities, right? Okay, so if your kind of work does not allow you to do hybrid, maybe you might have to start looking for opportunities that will give you that kind of opportunity, that kind of opportunity, right? I mean, jobs that will give you that kind of opportunity. You might want to start positioning yourself for that. Another thing is that you might also want to start looking at some of the durable goods you can start buying ahead of time, because all of these are also very, very important, so that you don't end up just waiting. You don't end up waiting, hoping that the things situation will get better. As a matter of fact, as we are going into the festive season, it's going to get a bit hard. A bit, I don't want to use harder. It's going to get a bit hard because, we are entering the season and a lot of people that's actually the time when market is usually on the high side. But right now, with the all of things happening in the country, we just have to prepare for it, right? So these are just some of the things that we need to know. Now, how do we ensure that we begin to, position ourselves and ensure that the gap we are talking about that is going to happen between the rich and the poor, we don't fall on the poor side, right? Number one thing is that do not spend everything you earn. Always save. Do not spend everything you earn. Always save. It's still the same strategy. Nothing has really changed. It's still the same strategy. It's just that now I see a lot of people complaining and saying to me, money that I'm earning is not even enough to take care of myself. And you're talking about saving and investing. The truth is that either you are earning much or you are earning little. If you are deliberate about saving, about investing, to still be possible. So let's first cultivate the habit of not spending everything that comes to our pocket. Financial freedom actually starts with financial discipline, ability to know when to buy things, ability to know when something is an impulsive purchase, not because you really need them, but because the adverts keep popping up on your Instagram, it keep popping up on your Facebook, and you just feel, well, let me just really take advantage of it because they are selling on discount, but they are not things that you really need. These are the times that you begin to weigh your options before you jump into opportunity, before you jump into buying things. And also, these are the time that you begin to actually avoid what we actually start to practice what we call delayed gratification, right? So if you don't need a certain thing now, you may actually just give it some time. Okay, let me give this thing a 30-day thing, a 30-day challenge. If after 30 days it's still as important as I'm thinking about it, right, and then I'll go for it. Because really, I tell people, No one can be so concerned about your future like you would do for yourself. The government, and yes, they are like trying to say, oh, we really care about you. But in reality, they care more about themselves than they do for you. So you have to actually now be the one to start thinking, what can I do to ensure that I'm able to position myself across all systems? So saving helps you acquire assets and to also fulfill your dreams. Saving is not punishment. It is essentially postponing consumption, consuming less today so that you can consume more tomorrow. And labor income is unsustainable to live on. Now is the time for us to start thinking, right? Now is the time for us to start thinking, how can we increase our sources of income? I was in a community recently and I told them that we have come to a generation where it is not okay that your source of income is just your 9 to 5 or it's just your business. You must have something that is augmenting. Some of you will say that I cannot go into business. How about leveraging your expertise in a way that you can consult for others? If you're an accountant in a company, how about being an accountant consultant, for another business? How about helping people to prepare tax? How about if you are good at content writing? How about looking for people maybe on LinkedIn and pitch yourself to them, help them write their content, take that stress off them. It is actually very important that for us to be able to navigate through this season, we must add to our source of income. If you don't just want to be living to pay for bills, but you want to live to acquire wealth, you must start thinking of what you can do. There is affiliate marketing, there is drop shipping, there is social media management, there is virtual assistant, digital content creator. There are just vast opportunities that we can actually leverage on that are not going to affect whatever business that we are already into. So this is just very important that we learn about. So from our income, do you know every time you collect your income actually is targeting several things. It's targeting your retirement, it's targeting, oh, I want to go on vacation, either mini or big vacation, you want to shall do one, right? It's targeting that as well. You also want to build house. It's also from your income. You want to buy car. Somebody on Instagram actually said something recently and said, please, I need a car, but I don't have more than 800,000 naira. So I actually waited for comment to come up. I need to come and see hilarious comment I was reading on the platform. People were saying, 800,000, you want to buy keke? Even keke said you can never buy keke again at this time. So imagine that in a year you are earning 5 million naira. If you are earning 5 million naira, even in a year in Nigeria, you are still part of the rich, to be honest. There are people that are earning below 2 million, below 3 million naira. And you say you want to buy a car, and to buy a good car actually now costs 4 million naira. How do you want to do it? You're not going to steal, right? So that is why it is important. You are not, please come out of the, I don't have business. I'm not a business person too. I used to say that. But right now, some months back, I discovered that no, I must just step up and do something for myself, right? I started putting myself out there. Actually, in a long time, I've actually learned how content writing, social media management to augment my work, even as a finance and investment professional. So one source of income, if you're on this call, if you don't have one yet, is not enough. Ensure that you go and look for what works for you and leverage on it. Because of my time, I'm just going to actually move away from that. Another thing I'm going to say is that lack of spending discipline causes financial ruin. And I've actually talked about us, practicing delayed gratification. I've talked about also avoiding what we call impulsive purchase. So you will still need to achieve your goals. So you need to look for outside sources of money. But too much debt can be creeping through terrible situation in terms of debt. Please, I'm begging you. If you are not taking debt to generate if you are not taking loan to generate higher return, then don't go for it. Don't borrow to buy car. Don't borrow to buy liabilities. Only borrow to buy assets. So what are assets? Let's assume that you are a tailor or you're a fashion designer, you want to expand your business, you're already doing well in that space, and getting additional machine will actually increase your stream of revenue. Then that's an asset because you'll be able to get money from that same machine as you are sewing for people and being able to repay. But if you go ahead to use money to buy car that you will still be servicing 50,000 naira on, maybe fuel, today it's having this issue, tomorrow it's having that issue, that is a liability. So it is not advisable that you we do that. So, we have to start thinking, right, how we are going to begin to cut down our debts and our exposure to all of these things, right? So, and it's not just Nigeria it's not just people that are in debt, right? Nigerians as well. Nigeria actually is in debt. I said it that debt servicing may take all of Nigerians' revenue by 2026. That was what IMF said. And by the reason of our debt obligation in foreign investments, sincerely, this is likely to happen because debts that we would have actually paid maybe $2 trillion for. Now we are paying almost $4 trillion for it because of the increase in exchange rates. So these are the problems that we are having right now in the country. So interest rates, inflation, and return. The cost of using money is the interest rate. When you borrow, you pay your lender interest for using the money. When you lend or invest your money, you can earn interest or capital appreciation. Those who need it, borrowers, get money from those who have it. That is creditors. So those who have it can suffer opportunity costs. When you just hold money as money, you're missing out on returns or destroying your purchasing power. What I'm literally saying is that 1,000 naira in 2010 is worth only 282 naira today. So what 1,000 naira we buy in 2010 is what 1,000 naira we buy in 2010 is what actually 282 naira would have bought, back then, because of the time value of money. And this also means you will need 2,820 today to buy what 1,000 naira would have bought in 2010. So your job as an investor is to ensure your purchasing power is increasing. So you cannot say, as a matter of fact, if you've been earning 200,000 naira in the past 3 years at your workplace and you have not gotten a raise, you have not requested for a raise, you have not been promoted, and your salary has not been increased, is either after today's call you go ahead to talk to them about the possibility of increasing your salary, or you actually start preparing to get another job. Because of this time value of money, your purchasing power is increasing. And if you are really serious about creating wealth, your income also must be increasing, because your money can buy more goods and services for you when your purchasing power also rises. So it is important actually that we ensure that what we are earning compensate, at least it might not actually just give everything, but at least it compensate the inflation that is already on the high side. So when are returns too high or low? I know a lot of you actually expected I was going to talk about, what are the investments I can do that will return money and all that. One thing you must do is that the Central Bank of Nigeria, in the last monetary policy committee, the interest rate was raised to 18.75%. And what that means is that commercial banks will now have to borrow from the CBN at 19. So commercial banks borrow and lend to the CBN, and the rate they get determines their own minimum rate, right? So that would then mean that we are going to be spending more when we borrow from banks, because the CBN now has increased the interest rate. All that the CBN is trying to do is to fight inflation, is to ensure that inflation is curtailed. But like I said, these rates are not reflecting, they're not reflecting on the treasury bills, which is actually one of those instruments that attracts foreign investors into the country, right? Also is bond, because in the bond market, you will actually not see the interest rates beyond 15%. And these are some of the things. If inflation is already 22+%, then we must have investment that compensate that same inflation rate, but it's not happening in the country. That is to tell you that if anybody is giving you rates that is higher than inflation, you must ensure that they are not about taking advantage of you to dupe you, because high return actually comes with high risk. So how do we ensure that we protect ourselves? Number one thing is that emergencies are inescapable. Things happen, life happens that we do not prepare for. When they happen, how do we manage it, right? How do we manage life when situations beyond us happen? Please, we are not going on with anything tonight. Before you even start thinking of creating wealth for yourself, learn how to protect what you have. And I will actually advise that if it is possible, have up to 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved somewhere as your emergency fund. The essence of this is that should you lose your job, should any big expenses that is not part of your goals, I mean your savings goal, your investment goal comes up, you will be able to use that emergency to settle such situation, to settle such bill, because it is very, very important. You don't want a situation whereby you have to be going to bank and be begging, going to apps, and after a few months and you're not able to pay back, then they now start pasting your obituary up and down. Although that has reduced now in the country, but it was that terrible some period ago. So all of these are just very, very important that we take note of, even as the economy is changing. Another thing you must know, and I think a lot of people don't think about it, when I'm on session, when I'm on calls with clients, I ask them, I will say, when do you want to retire? And I think from my calculation, among maybe, let's say from 10 people, for every 10 people that I've spoken with, from every 10 people I've spoken with, maybe just 3 people usually say, oh, Temi, I'm going to retire at this age. They are always, those are the kind of people that are always specific, right? A lot of time, most people don't have a projected retirement age. They just go through life. They just assume, okay, when I get there, when I get to age 50, I will now start. If you are really serious about your life, you must not leave the future to the future. You must start planning the future from now. 93% adults in Nigeria are without a retirement plan, and you cannot afford to join that percentage. You must start to plan for your future right now. If you don't want, because let me tell you, some of them will say, oh, my company have a pension plan for us. Then I go ahead and say, okay, like how much is presently in your pension account? A lot of them, their money does not even, the thing does not even get up to 50 million naira. 50 million naira in 30 years time, it will take you nowhere. It will not take you more than 10 years with the way thing is going in the country. So as you are earning, saving towards, some other important things of life. Don't leave your investing future to the future. Invest in long-term assets such as stocks, real estate. You don't need to have like 50 million naira before you invest in real estate. You can actually invest in real estate ETFs. You can invest in real estate crowdfunding and start taking advantage of them from now. You need to invest for retirement or for the future out of what you are earning. You just have to prepare for, because every time you collect your salary or you get your income, the money you will use to take care of your present self is in it. The money you will use to take care of your future self is in it. So it is actually subject to, I don't want to use your discretion. Sometimes you actually require the service of a professional, advisor to help you plan that. But what you must not do is to leave the future to the future. Do you know something that is amazing? That even when people are saying, I have pension, while I was checking the pension reports, I discovered that 9.9 million people are registered in Nigerians' pension as at May 2023. Wow. Out of 83 million workforce, 9.9 million, right, are actually registered in the pension fund of the Nigerian pension fund. So 200 in a country that has 200 million people, we have a working population of about 100 million, and it's just 9.99 million. And I'm now wondering, how will the remaining that's about 90 million people take care of themselves at retirement? That is why it seems as though we keep having the same cycle. So your father took care of his own parent, and you are about to take care of your parent as well. And because culture has projected it to us as being normal, we don't see it as a big deal. Now, don't get me wrong, because I even have certain amount of money I set aside for my own parent as well. But do you know that this black tax is so great on some people that they are not able to save anything in a month, because they have to send money to daddy, they have to send money to mommy, they have to send money to their siblings, they have to send money to certain people. It keeps. So if you do not begin to make conscious effort to ensure that you are not part of that generation, I'm telling you, you will discover that you repeat that same cycle whereby you begin to depend on your children at old age, and you cannot afford to do that. That is why it is important that we begin to think how we can, invest towards our future. So having talked about saving, please do not save alone, invest. Don't just put money that you have actually, after you have been able to gather a fair amount of money, don't just put it in your savings account. The return on saving account is less than 5% in Nigeria. But when you allocate some to investing in real estate, stock, bonds, you have the opportunity for growth and wealth creations. Savings are short-term, offering safety, while investing is long-term. And that is how you can create wealth. Because I see a lot of people are afraid. Me, I don't want to put my money in the stock market though. My daddy told me that 2009, when he invested, he lost all his money. And that's the reason why you're not taking advantage of the stock market. Do you know that Otudeko just invested about 83 billion into First Bank? Do you think the rich are stupid? They actually use money to make more money. The rich actually invest. Go and look at all the richest Africans in the world. You will discover that they also take advantage of investing. Why is Tony Lumelu, fighting to want to be the largest stakeholder at Transcorp? Why is Otedola fighting for the same position? Because actually these people make money from the stock market. The stock markets literally give you money. It puts money in your pocket without you having to stress yourself. That is what the stock market does for you. But it is just important that you know how to get into the market. Right? So I won't be able to dwell so much on that because of our time, because I'm not seeing any signal from Dr. Abiodun yet, but I'm trying to remember the number of minutes he told me I was going to spend on the call, and I'm trying to just, make things as fast as possible. So just like I said, short-term opportunities, they are available. That one is for your, short-term goals, your emergency funds, your whatever. Those ones are for your what? They are for your short-term opportunities. And I'm not going to dwell so much on that because that will actually not give you wealth. It will only help you, to take care of your investment. Now, another thing that I will actually talk about is your long-term opportunities. Long-term opportunities offer income or capital gains. And really, this is where you can actually build wealth that will last, beyond, regardless of any tenure, regardless of any government administration that comes in. Because let me tell you one truth. What actually reflects a particular economy is the state of health of the market. So if the whole of the stock market in the US is not doing well, is a sign that the US economy itself is not doing well, it's sick. Although this may not really reflect in Nigeria because Nigeria market, stock market is still at development stage. Although we are picking up and we are picking up very fast, but it's still at development stage. But for a country like a developed country like US, that's what reflects. So it does not, although it's important that we look at, which government is coming and all that, but does it rule out the fact that you are going to hit? Are you not going to hit? Are you not going to buy laptop? Are you not going to buy iPhone? Are new technologies are they not going to come in? That speaks to me that even though there is change in power, the stock market will continue to exist. And that is why you must take advantage of them. Do you even know that when President Tinubu was sworn in May, something happened in the market? The stock market literally jumped. As a matter of fact, I think it went as high as almost 16%. So that is what happened because the market reacted to the fact that, okay, if policies come, and it actually benefits us, what happened? People were cashing out at that period because for those who had enough money in the market. So for your long-term opportunities, for you to be able to build wealth, invest in bonds, invest in real estate. If you have enough money, of course, go for properties. You can do land banking, you can do land flipping, and you can even build a property to yourself, to your name, and be any renter income from it. That's another way you can actually make good money from the real estate. And one that even though people thought, before I need to have 1 million, I need to have 2 million, but today with just 5,000 naira, you can start investing in the stock market. You can invest in the foreign market. You can invest in the local market. Opportunities are out there. And another one that we normally don't talk about is the alternative asset. You can invest in gold, you can invest in commodities. Do you know how some of these, in terms of rice, in terms of cocoa, in terms of all these things have season, and understanding their season can actually just position you for another wonderful opportunities in the market. So as I round up this evening, I'm just going to talk about credit. That do not be afraid to use credit, but use it wisely. I've talked about the fact that there is nothing wrong about it, but ensure that you are using money. You are actually not using it to generate more liabilities, but to generate what assets. And know your capacity to borrow. If the interest payment is going to be more than 33% of your monthly income, you have a huge debt burden. As a matter of fact, because you already have a lot of things crying for your attention, the transportation, your feeding, your house rent, I won't even still advise that your repayment gets up to 33% of your income. So it's very important. But where you get opportunities where you can actually get loan for a cheaper rate and it will use it to invest for an high return, of course, that's a good one. But like I said, a lot of time is usually very rare before you get that kind of opportunity. So it's very important that we understand the nature of what we want to put our head in before we actually dive into it. Mr. Biadu, please let me know in the chat room how many minutes I still have left. If I've actually exhausted my time, it's fine by
Awesome.
me. Please let me know.
I think you already exhausted the time, um, but okay. I don't know if you can still hear me. So I think you already exhausted the time, but
I think
we'll just take questions. We'll just take questions, and then you can also infuse some of the other things you want to share with them. So, all right, guys,
all right.
that's been
Okay.
so phenomenal. It has been so educative. It has been so informative. Some of you that have been taking very wrong and poor decisions with your money. You understand that wealth is not by luck. Wealth is by knowledge and deliberate decisions. All right, by knowledge and deliberate decisions. And you have seen all of the statistics, all of the ideas that have been shared. All right, I have someone here who is trying to ask a question, and the question is by Princess Choma Augustine. So she's saying, okay, ma, are there specific advice for students in the university for survival in this economy? So there are like some students right now who are in the university and they are like, oh, this economy is is amazing, and they want to know what decision they should begin to take with their money. So, what counsel do you have as an expert, as an expert at this? All right.
Okay, I'm just going to start by saying that being in school is not a limitation. Being in school is not a limitation. I had a client earlier this year, and the lady was saying to me, please, I will need you to help me structure how I should invest my money. I said, okay, no problem. For now, I don't want you to do a lot of risky investment. Just do savings because most time you students don't have money. She said, no, I have money. I said, okay. Is it from your parents or something? He said, no, from the copywriting job I do. I said, oh, okay. So how much do you earn? So I was expecting like, oh, $500 per month. And she amazed me. She said $4,000 per month. Wow. So that speaks to me. And she's not the first person, actually. I can go on and mention like 5 people, 5 different students that I've actually had this kind of session with that are doing something even while they're in school. What I'm going to actually advise you is that while you are in school, go and learn a skill that can give you the opportunity to focus on your education at the same time you take advantage of earning. You can learn virtual assistant, you can learn digital marketing, you can learn how to help people run Facebook advert, Instagram advert, you can learn content writing. Do you know there are a lot of things you can learn? Because you can, if you are serious about investing or saving, you cannot say I will just leverage on whatever my a parent is giving me in a month. That one is just for your survival, just like you have said. But if you are serious about going beyond and above, then you want to go and learn skills Go and learn skills. And see, I tell people, press the juice out of the skill. Do you know the moment you know A, someone else might not even know A, might not even know how to draw a stick. So after you've learned and you are making money from it, monetize it, train people, charge 1,000, charge 2,000. Before you know, you become a thought leader in whatever skill that you have actually put in for yourself. So that's what I would say about that.
Phenomenal answer, and I think you were just so on point. All right, so that's really great, and I think this is something that a lot of students should start paying attention to right now. So you have no excuse, irrespective of the economy you are at, you can begin to change your life. All right, Ruth Uwoga is saying, please can you go back to the slide which reads borrow from bank or fintech? Okay, maybe the person wants you to maybe throw more light on that while you go back to the slide and how this is applicable. Probably the person is a business owner or something.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, here's the slide. So I think, is this the slide? I think this should be. Should you borrow from a
Yes, I
fintech
guess
or
that's
a
it.
bank?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I said, okay, I didn't actually speak to this because I was rushing, but let me quickly talk about it. Fintech and small banks do not have access to cheap deposits, and they tend to attract subprime borrowers, no collateralization, not salary backed. So because of that, their interest rate is usually high because they get deposits. Some of them, because I actually work with some of them, that they pay my clients up to 17% per annum. These are the rates you will not get from bank. If you should save your money in the bank, maybe the highest you get is 5%. So if a company, a fintech is actually offering you a rate that is up to like 20%, then you must know that they will charge you, that you are borrowing money from them, they will charge you an higher rate. So some can lend you at 4% to 10% per month, which is usually 48% to 120% annually. These are the things that people don't calculate. They are taking 100,000 naira from a company and they are saying, okay, we are going to be charging you, let's say 5%, 10%. You have to calculate what that is going to amount to if you are taking it for 1 year, if you are taking it for 6 months, because it is very important. And have your salary account with those who will give you the cheapest financing. You won't take advantage of that system. But because I feel that we have quite a number of students on this call, so I will just assume that I'm still speaking to students. So if you don't fall into the category of salary account, I would just advise that only use credit for assets, just like I said, and not for liabilities. Because if you should take money from banks without you having, a return that can return both the repayment and return the high interest on it can actually crush you. So it is important that we learn all of this when borrowing from banks or from fintech banks.
Wow, amazing. That's really phenomenal. So, something just came to my mind. People will lend money and then they now buy a car and then they now take pictures with it to pepper them on Instagram. The people who
They will
watched
pepper themselves later.
who watched the picture, all right, who you try to pepper with the pictures, they will not be there when they arrest you and they try to lock you up. So it's better you're wise when you're trying to borrow. So people do things and they just feel like, oh, pepper them. So you borrow money, you buy a car, and then you will not be able to show the picture when they arrest you and they are disturbing all your contact list. With, do you know this person? This person borrowed this money. If you know the person, tell the person to come and pay. So be very careful. So that's very, and you have dealt with a lot of really amazing things. And already we are out of time set. But I know there are some things that you really have. All right. How can people really benefit from the things you do, most especially at Money Africa, or they can reach out to you for consultation, or they can just reach out to you to inquiry? What are some of the products you have and some of the things people can engage in and how they can reach out to you?
Okay, I think at some point the network tripped, so I didn't hear some of the questions you asked,
Yeah,
but I
yeah. I was
feel
like,
you
so how
actually
can
asked
people
about.
take advantage of some of the things you do? How can they reach out to you? What are some products you have There's someone right now who is saying, "Oh, now I am wise. I don't want to spend all my money and be
Mhm.
preparing them and be buying new shoes and be attending birthday parties and be going for one best, be buying Ankara 6 yards, even when I know that I don't have so much. So I want to begin to take very wise decisions. So how can people reach out to you? What are some products, some packages that you have that they can take advantage of right now? For students, for young entrepreneurs, for startups, for those who are working, for professionals, please share with us.
All right, so I'm actually just going to go straight into that. That this, I'm happy that we have quite a number of different age group on this call. I'm going to start with the student, and I would say because you are still like trying to find your footing, one thing you must understand is that you are in the accumulation stage. At this stage, don't be so focused on I want to actually invest in the stock market. I want to actually invest in bond and all that, even though I've mentioned it on this call. But because you are in the accumulation stage where you actually need money to generate more money. What I mean by that is now is the time for you to go on that certification, take that certification courses. Now is the time for you to take on that, maybe enroll into master's program. Now is the time for you to do that because when you actually take all of this, you have higher negotiating power. Somebody will not be offering you 100,000 naira job. You'll be able to go for a job that will command high income to you. So, but I'm not still going to rule out the fact that you should not still save and invest. So, what I'm going to advise is that you can actually join our community like Money Africa, student community. I think for that they pay just 10,000 naira per annum, where you get to learn all of these opportunities that are in the market. If you are a student and you know you are not ready to take that decision, but if you are already earning well, let's say you are already earning at least 250,000 naira, 200,000 naira per year. Sorry, that's a per year, per month. You should actually start taking your future very serious. For that, we can actually have jump on a quick call and just brush things out. How you should save your money in terms of your savings, in terms of your investing. Should you invest in dollars? Should you invest in naira? Should you invest in foreign stocks? For that, you can actually reach me. Either I don't know if I'll be able to drop my contact for that or something, but you can reach out to me and I will be willing to actually work something out for you.
Okay, so how can they reach out to you? Can you drop the best way with which they can reach out to you, whether you prefer WhatsApp or they chat you on Facebook or Instagram? What's the best way to reach out to you after this
All right,
webinar?
so yes, they can actually send a message to me on, I don't know if I can drop it in the private chat or I
Yeah,
just drop it
call it. I will
straightforward.
just type it here. Just call it. I'll type it.
Okay. So you can reach out to me on WhatsApp 0066151793. 0066151793. That would be the
Okay,
fastest
so
way by
just
which you can
just
reach me.
confirm that it is correct. Confirm on the screen that it is correct, so that they can
Yes,
do that.
it is. Great.
All right, awesome. So do well to reach out to Mrs. Temilola right now and just tell her you want to get the best advice and the best way to begin to manage your money. So you're doing a little job, you are in a vocation, you're making some money, and you want to be really wise. You don't want to grow old and begin to beg on the streets, or grow old and you want to start depending on your children in order to live. So just do well to chat her right now. Chat her right now. Okay, so please also do well to share this video with every of your friends. You know, those people that are always meeting you for urgent 2K, money for data. I
Okay.
want to buy bone straight. I want to buy wig. I've not made my hair all this while. You know, send this video to them and tell them to reach out to her, irrespective of the category you are. If you're a parent and you have children, you are giving them pocket money and you want them to make really wise decisions, please reach out to her right now and let her help you to begin to prepare the right financial future for your children. Thank you so much, Mrs. Temilola. We are so delighted to have you on Growth School today. And we really anticipate that next time we'll call you again, you would do well to be here. So I will see you on the flip side. All right, that's it, everyone. That's the number. Go right now, send a WhatsApp number to her All right, send a WhatsApp message to her and begin to reach out to her immediately. Immediately. Don't wait till tomorrow. Like this night, boss her. She will reply, she would reply you, and then reach out to her the more, contact her the more. Ma, I want to know what's there. How can I invest? All right. How can I put my money here? What does it take to do this? Instead of putting your money to scammers and waiting for another Ponzi scheme to come up, and then your money just goes away. All right, just like that. All right. So thank you so much. That's it with Mix Temilola. And I hope you gained a lot. I hope you learned a lot. I hope it was so amazing and you got a lot of value for your time. All right, you got a lot of value for your time. It was so great to be here. All right, so having said that, all right, I dropped a message on the comments. Okay, I dropped a message on the comments. Do well to look at it. All right, very soon from now, I'll be launching an online course called Finding Your Courage Code for so many people. Right now, you're scared of taking real decisions in your life, living your dream. You have not been able to impact your life massively because you are scared. You don't know how to take actions. You're failing. You are average. You see yourself having mediocre results, whether financially, in your personal life, in your real life, and you really want to start taking courageous steps and build really courageous decisions. All right, I dropped the message. Do well to join the waiting list, and I will drop more details on the group. All right, it's a WhatsApp group where I will share a lot of details already. I'm engaging people in that group already, and we are doing a lot to really prepare for that course. All right, it's going to be a real video course, and then I'm telling you, you'll be paying a lot of ridiculous you'll be paying ridiculous amount for that course. So get ready, join the waiting list, and then we will take it up from there. Take note, I also have a lot of bonuses. You know, my courses are always sweet. They're always interesting, impactful, and transformational. All right, till I come your way again next week with another session of Growth School, which will so change your life. Remain phenomenal, remain exceptional, and keep making a difference in your life. Bye bye.